welcome in this session on designing and developing e-content. Before talking about the designing and developing of e-content, let us try to understand what is an e-content. Some people are saying that e-content is produced for self-paced e-learning, which means that learners are free to learn at their own pace, in their own learning space. The learning paths they define themselves according to their needs. Or we can say that e-content is basically complemented by facilitation, social interaction and online collaboration activities. If we are integrating all these things, the whole e-learning experience become a very meaningful and fruitful. Some people will say that e-content is usually hosted on a web server, so it is basically based on the placing of the content, because the modular content developed in print form is basically given to you in the hard copy format, but the e-content comes to you in the soft format. But this does not mean that e-content can be anything. It is also developed according to a set of learning objectives. It can be delivered through different media elements. So, sometimes it can be a text, sometimes it can be some graphics, sometimes it can be an audio, sometimes it can be a video. A good e-content is that which is device independent. What do we mean by device independent? Device independent means that if I am giving you this video as an e-content, it should be accessible to you through the device at your end. Means it should be accessible through the desktop, through the laptop, through the mobile, through the tablet or smartphones. If you are providing an e-content which is a particular device specific, then you are not considering your learners, because your learners may not have the device with which your e-content is compatible. So, why do we need e-content? There are numerous reasons which can be enlisted when we try to answer the question that why do we need the e-content. The first benefit of the e-content is that you can deliver the content to a large number of learners if it is e-content. If it is printed, if it is in form of textbooks, you may have the printing control, you may have the delivery problems, but with the e-content no such problem is there. Even learners can access the e-content from various geographical regions and locations across the world, and learners need not to be mobile. So, the limited mobility if the learners are having, e-content is a great solution to that. You can access the e-content at any time as per your choice. You can use e-content for developing very effective listening and reading skills. The only requirement to access the e-content is a device which is connected with the internet and the internet. If you have an internet and basic device, whether it is a handheld device or it is a desktop or laptop, you can access the e-content. Now, why we prefer e-content for learning? We prefer e-content for learning because we know that there is a need for developing a homogeneous background knowledge on any topic. And most of you as learners are highly motivated to learn, and you appreciate the proceeding of the learning at your own pace. So, when we provide you e-content, it basically be reused for different learning groups at different places also. If we use e-content for training, so training focuses on cognitive and interpersonal skills rather than psychomotor skills, and when we develop e-content, we also require to collect the data and track the data, how you are using the e-content. So, LMSs are there which basically helps us to track and collect the data. If you try to analyze any e-content on the basis of its features, you will find that e-content, a good e-content is always learner centric. Learner centric means that e-content is relevant to the specific learner needs, their roles, their responsibilities in their professional life, the skills, the knowledge and the information which is required for the learner is the feature of e-content. E-content is never bombarded on the learner. So, we call this feature of e-content as granularity. Granularity means that e-content should be segmented to facilitate the assimilation of new knowledge and allow flexible scheduling of time for learning. So, we provide it in small chunks. A good e-content is always engaging. Whatever instructional methods and teachings we are using to create an e-content, they should be engaging and motivating for learning. Interactivity is the key feature. A good e-content is an interactive e-content which basically needed to sustain the attention and promote learning. The next very important feature is personalization. So, self-paced learning is possible. Learners can prefer to read or watch or listen to a particular e-content according to their own learning styles, according to their own interests and requirements. There are enormous pool of e-content. You may find some non-interactive basic e-content like simple learning resources or PDF formats. You may find e-learning courses which are standalone interactive learning materials. You may find simulation and games. You may find various performance and supporting tools, and you may find the text also. For example, if we talk about the simple learning resources or non-interactive e-content, we can place the documents in it, the PowerPoint presentations, the animated video, the talking heads, the audio files which you only read, watch, listen or watch and listen, but they never interact with you. If it is a complete course, means a standalone interactive learning material, it can be a combination of several types of media. It can be arranged in a particular linear sequencing or it can be adopted by a branched approach. Simulation and games, a learning environment that simulate the real world. So, at present the augmented reality and virtual reality are coming in a big way as simulation and games as a form of e-content. There are certain performance support tools which support learners in applying existing skill or knowledge. So, many technical glossaries and checklists are there. You may use quizzes, assignments, knowledge checks all in e-form as a test, which are also a part of e-content. Now, the question is that if someone has asked you to develop an e-content, in this course you will also develop some e-content. So, how will you go ahead? You need to go through certain steps. If I take the example of ADDIE approach, ADDIE, analysis, design, development, implementation and evaluation, I can try to explain that how you can design the e-content. So, what is the first step? It is analysis. What is the need of a particular course or e-content? Who are the target audience for whom we are developing an e-content? The task analysis, who will perform which task, and the content analysis, what will be the content. So, the need analysis, target audience analysis, task analysis and content analysis are the part of analysis phase. After analyzing everything, we move towards the design phase where we formulate learning objectives, we sequence them and we select the instructional media, evaluation and delivery strategies. On the basis of that, we develop. Every time we may not developing the new resource, because there may be certain resources which are already available in the web world or in our e-library which can be procured. So, the procurement of the resources should be the first step while we are thinking about development. If no resource is available, then you need to develop. So, you start developing the simple resources, then you bring certain interactivity in that by using the interactive tools and you plan the storyboard. After that, you upload the content in the implementation phase on your learning management system or on your website. you maintain the interaction through the discussion forums, you help the learners for troubleshooting and hand-holding to move ahead in the course. As far as evaluation is concerned, it consists of 4 types of assessment, that is self-assessment, peer assessment, continuous assessment and terminal assessment. Self-assessment, assessment by yourself as a content developer. Peer assessment, assessment by your colleagues of your design, of your process and of your content. Continuous assessment during the implementation phase. After each module delivery, you can check that whether you are going on a right path or not. And terminal assessment at the end of your module or the course. Who are involved in the whole process of e-content? Few of you may have a confusion that e-content development is only the work of a faculty, but it is not. We require a number of people. If it is your course, you are going to offer a course for which you are going to develop e-content, your role is more as a course manager. You can be instructor also, you can be instructional design also, but your core role is as a course manager. You may hire the services of some instructional designers if you are not having the idea, but I know you are having now because we are in a course on instructional design. So, you know what instructional design is and you can perform your role as an instructional designer. Then you may require some subject matter experts for developing the e-text, for developing the videos. All videos you may not develop, you may require the help of other people. Then there can be some people who basically bring the interactivity and the designing aspect in your course. So, the courseware developers and graphic designers, they are also the part of your core team when you are talking about the e-content developer. Then where this content will be available? This content will be available on some learning management system. So, who will administer that system? Every faculty may not be handy with LMS. So, there are certain LMS administrators or a team which basically manage the whole learning management system and backhand. They are also the key team partner. And during the implementation of the course, you may require certain online facilitators or tutors. So, all these make a good team for developing e-content. Now, the question is how you can ensure the quality of e-content. A good e-content should be a quality e-content. For that, you need to analyze and you need to design the course properly. If you have done the need analysis, the learner analysis, the content analysis, the task analysis, you can design a good e-content, but if you have not done, if you are not aware about who your learners are, if you are not aware about what kind of content is sufficient for this particular course or module, you may fail. So, analysis is very important step for course design. Then you develop the content as well as the storyboard. So, content is basically the creation of video, creation of audio, creation of a PPT, creation of a e-text, but how this content will be presented to my learner, in what sequence. If in a module we have e-text, we have video, we have audio, then whether we will provide video first or we will provide content first or we will integrate the video in the e-text, if we will integrate at what step we will integrate, whether they need to watch the video before the e-content reading or they want to watch the video after the e-text reading, or you want them to read some e-text, then watch the video, then do some activity, then read the e-text. So, whole storyboarding is very important, that how you will move ahead and how you will integrate various resources. After that, you develop the courseware, you deliver it, and if you are producing it in different languages, it is always welcomed in a diverse country. If it is monolingual country, you can develop the whole course in one particular design. But if in your country people are speaking different languages, then you need to have a feature in your course that you can translate or transcript the whole course into various major languages of your country. After developing, you need to make it available. Where will you make it available? You need to identify a learning management system, an LMS on which this course content will be available. Why is it important to think about LMS? Because every learning management system has its own features. Suppose you develop a particular content which is not supported at the LMS. If you have developed a video in a particular format, it is not supported at your LMS, then it will not be of any use. So, you need to identify in the platform as well as the LMS on which the e-content will be available, so that you are aware that what kind of features the LMS has. Then you need to choose the appropriate and supportive formats of the e-content. Then you will develop many interactives, whether it can be interactive video, interactive quiz, interactive activities, because without interactivity, a good e-content cannot be developed. Then you sequence it, you mix it with the activities and ensure that you are summarizing also whatever e-content you are developing. Along with the LMS, nowadays people use social media also for e-content delivery. But my suggestion will be that if you are going to use social media for e-content delivery, integrate it with your LMS. You can use audio-visual social media like Facebook, you can use textual social media like WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, you can use audio social media like Clubhouse, and many now audio social media platforms are there. You can use social media for content hosting like profile, pages and groups. You can use social media for communication like pages, groups and channels. You can use social media for interactions like groups and live sessions. So, nowadays social media gives you a multiple options for interaction, for content hosting, for communication, and you can integrate any kind of content, whether it is text, it is video, it is audio, or it is audio visual, by using different social media platforms. But if you want to ensure the interactivity in the e-content, you need to learn that which content is to be integrated with the LMS, which content you will create with the plugins available with the LMS. For example, various activities you want to develop, they may be available on some other platforms, but those platforms may have the option to be plugged in with your LMS. So, you need to identify such platforms, or if it is already available at some place, whether it is YouTube or it is a web page, you need to hyperlink it. So, you need to learn that which e-content is to be integrated with the LMS, which e-content is to be plugged in with the LMS, and which content is to be hyperlinked. If you follow all these steps, I am sure that you will be able to develop a very good quality e-content. And believe me, e-content is not judged by its numbers, rather its quality and acceptability. You may develop hundreds video, but if you are not having the viewers for those videos because of its length, its design, its poor content, or its interactivity, less talking, then you may not be able to have a good quality video. Same is true for the e-text, for the audio, or for any other e-content. So, my suggestion would be that after watching this talk, go through the e-content which you want to develop, think a minute about your learners, think a minute about the LMS, about the handheld devices available at their end, and then you plan accordingly which type of e-content will be more suitable for them. All the best. Thank you very much.